Hi, my name is Liz Thompson and I'm going to show you a little bit about the Janome 1200D serger, which is a phenomenal new serger that Janome has just added to the range. It is actually a 3-in-1 serger. It is a conventional serger that has 4 and 5 threads. So it will do all your 4 and 5 thread serging to neaten off seams. And in addition to that, it also does cover stitch, which is that stitch that is done on the bottom of t-shirts and around the necks of t-shirts, that beautiful interlock stitch. And in addition to that, those are the two functions. The third function is it will do top cover, which is a decorative embellishment and a cover stitch not only on the bottom but on the top as well, so it's done simultaneously. And that is a great new addition to the Janome line. Now, what I wanted to show very briefly today was these little PJ sets that I have made with the PJ bottoms that have been cut short so that they're capris for my two girls, my daughter and my daughter-in-law to be. It's for them to wear in the summertime, and then the little cami tops to wear with their PJs. And these PJ bottoms were actually sewn on this 1200D serger in less than an hour each. And that is because all the seams were done super fast with the serger, and then the elastic was just put in at the waist. Now, in order to, in a sense, convert a pattern to serging, I've just used a very simple pants pattern, a pull-on pants pattern, and to convert it, what one needs to work out is what is the seam allowance on your pattern. And when you know what the seam allowance is on this particular pattern, my seam allowance was 5/8 of an inch. And so in order to do that, if I was to just put the fabric through the serger right on the edge, I wouldn't be cutting enough fabric off. And so my pants would be too large for the size I was wanting to make. So in order to correct that, once you know what your seam allowance is, I have drawn two lines, one at 3/8 of an inch and one at 5/8 of an inch. And then when I put my fabric through the serger, I'm running my cutting knife along my 3/8 of an inch line. And there I have now, my serging is done right up to the second line that I marked, which was my 5/8 of an inch. And so now my seams will be dead bang on at the 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then, just to finish off the little cami tops, I cut out fabric from the pants and then appliqued them on. These instructions for how to do this little added embellishment will be covered in PDF version on our website and will be able to be downloaded and used to make the project from there. This top was another thing that I made on the 1200D serger with cover hem around the necks and the edges of the sleeves. And also all my seams inside were done with this 4-thread serging to neaten off my seams. And when you're working with a very stretchy fabric like that, or like this dress, which is sort of like a gold, very stretchy lurex fabric, the only way to sew a fabric like that is with a serger, because it's way too stretchy to put it through a regular sewing machine, because the minute you stretch to reach up to get something, your seams are going to pop. So a serger is your answer there. In addition to the serger having the 3-in-1 functionality, it also comes with a comprehensive range of feet and accessories for the serger. There are well over 20 feet and attachments, and I've just got a few of them laid out here in front of us. I'm not even going to go through them. All this information as regards what these feet are and how one uses them will be found on our website, and more information will be available from your local dealer. But I do want to mention briefly today, one of my very favorites is the belt loop maker, which is exactly what it says. Those belts that you find on your pants, this little foot will make them is quick as a flash for you. I took this fabric, which is just a regular cotton fabric, rather bright and gaudy, but I cut it into a long strip You can join the strips together if you want to make even longer. And then you set the machine up for cover stitch. You put the belt loop belt loop maker foot on, and then you feed the fabric into the belt loop maker, and then you just whiz through and it does a cover stitch. And this is what we ended up with. I had yards and yards and yards of belt loops that I had made with the cover stitch and the belt loop maker attachment. And then what I did was I lay them out on a pressing board and used pins to make a lattice pattern, arranged it on top of a piece of yellow fabric, pinned it all together, sewed around the edge with my 4-thread serging, exactly the same as what I used there, and then made it into a little bag, and full instructions of how to complete this nifty little bag to keep all your serger attachments in so that none get lost and then you get frustrated looking for them. There you are, they're all in your little belt loop making bag. In addition, I did want to mention that sergers are not just for making garments and for making little bags and home deck items. You may also use a serger for your quilts. Many people like to piece their quilts with a serger. You can use a 3-thread narrower seam, and that is just about the right size for a 1/4 inch, of which quilters are of course addicted to. And on this particular quilt I used, you'll notice in this black sashing around the edge, I did some more top cover just as an embellishment around the quilt. It's just to show you that there's more that you can do with the serger than just make garments and finish off seams. Thank you.